All right, so I still have to work on this transition, but definitely. So welcome back. This is Python for Everybody, week 20. We had a month, I checked, and we had a month long of gap because we had to take a break to focus on networking. We had a very good, strong, very good stream, and really, I could tell you that I'm actually aware about like the basics of networking. Like I can tell you about the TCP/IP protocol. I can tell you about the OSI model, and regardless, we did this for a purpose, and maybe we're not gonna get, let's say, instant gratification because I was supposed to learn more and whatever, but still for the main goal of learning and using Python, becoming efficient in Python, it's actually super nice that you actually did this detour, because I read Dr. Chuck's book about this. So yeah, and also I had a weekend, I was in Wroclaw. I'm not so sure about this suite, but it's something. I met Gustavo Santaolalla. I saw him live perform the songs from Last of Us. And what else? Life update. What else? Life update. I got a positive grid Spark Go. So I have the ultimate guitar, like ultimate portable setup now. Like absolutely crazy what this can do. But also, if you crank it up, I mean, depends on the situation, right? Because it's still amazing that it can do it, but it's not something you wanna, let's say, you wanna listen to like a 3 hour of somebody's playing. I mean, for between friends and for goofing around, it's super nice. But yeah, it has this distortion. I don't mind if it's quiet, but the distortion you have, the chipping sound, it has a chipping sound at higher volume, and it's it is what it is. But I have this, and like I can be happy about it, I guess. But yeah, it's been too long. It's been too long without programming, without Python. So let's get to it. So what I want from this stream, let's go through this chapter. Let's go through. So I wanted to take a new approach, and like, because I know that I'm when we start the stream, I'm very motivated usually, and then by the end I'm just like, let's wrap it up. And yeah, I mean, I'm still improving, but ideally we should have like a key takeaway. Like each stream should have really like a blank page where I'm just saying like, okay, so what did we learn? What can we recall really from head? What was the whole point of this? If we can do this and summarize each stream, this is gonna make it much more, beneficial for us and easy to track the progress. And with object-oriented programming, so I didn't even remember, but I did actually already started this, I think at work. And yeah, that was 17th of April. And yeah, so I had discussions with some people about this, that, what if you don't want to write it in your own words, you just like copy the page, and it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Like we should aim for really reading, okay, and how can we write it in our own? So this is exactly the reason, I guess, I don't remember about writing about object-oriented programming, because I didn't make my own notes. I think I spent an hour and I just copied the book, and this is not something which gonna help us. So I think let's start a new page here, and just, yeah, let's get from the beginning. I did watch his video about this. I know that this whole chapter, we're not gonna have anything practical. We're not gonna have any like actual like test exercise at the end, and it's more about the terminology, so that later on, when you actually face objects, or when he will talk about objects, you won't be like, what the hell is this? Yeah, guys, if anybody can make a better like this art, I need some art, which I can place here. Do 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 do. At the beginning of this book, we came up with 4 basic programming patterns which we use to construct programs. We had sequential code, conditional code, if statements, repetitive code, loops, store and reuse, functions. In later chapters, we explored simple variables as well as collection data structures like lists, tuples, and dictionaries. As we build programs, we design data structures and write code to manipulate those data structures. There are many ways to write programs, and by now you probably have written some programs that are not so elegant and other programs that are more elegant. Even though your programs may be small, you are starting to see how there is a bit of art and aesthetic to writing code. As programs get to be millions of lines long, it becomes increasingly important to write code that is easy to understand. If you are working on a million-line program, you can never keep the entire program in your mind at the same time. We need ways to break large programs into multiple smaller pieces so that we have less to look at when we solve a problem, fix a bug, or add a new feature. In a way, object-oriented programming is a way to arrange your code so that you can zoom into 50 lines of code and understand it while ignoring the other 950 lines of code for the moment. So the question arises, why do we even need to write, do we must take notes of each? And yeah, I guess that's the overthinking part of me kicks in, but let's have a conversation. Anything goes. That's the thing. Anything goes. We are not gonna be too judgmental about anything, and anything goes. And take it slow. Don't rush. Why would you rush? What would be the point? And I'm just actually starting to realize that we have scenes, right? Just what you saw at the intro with my shitty transition. So I could make a new one. What will happen if I click? So what if I just say Python? And we're gonna see, you're not gonna see anything now. But I'm gonna have a separate scene for the Python. So window capture. What if I just add existing? VS Code. Not working at all. Here we go. I need to update. Yeah, this is gonna be super nice. I think by the end of this whole book, I'm gonna actually just step by step learn how to use OBS even more efficiently. But so let's reflect what we read. He says, by now, you have written some programs that are not so elegant and other programs that are more elegant. So did I actually write something? So yeah, this is my big, really we should be focusing, I said no rush, right? But we need to deal with code, because I know that you really despise of even thinking about code, to actually those exercises when I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. But we need to get there. It would be so nice if the stream would be about I have my idea of creating something and I can show you guys how to do it, and that would be the ultimate confirmation that what we are doing is actually working. So web services. So yeah, right, web services is here. Yeah, we can do a code review of really, because that's something we didn't do. So what can I tell mostly about this? Because I'm already in a very tiny way I'm thinking in object oriented, that I know that I don't have to understand the code anymore. I can add myself again here, okay, so you guys see me. I hope the intro was not copyright protected and I'm not getting like notification, hey, your stream is, by the way, like what happened before. No, nothing like that, so that's great. Okay, there we go. Very professional. Very professional. So this was the exercise was supposed to teach you very simple. Like the solution was super simple because you had to. I think that OpenGahi. I just saved it in the OpenGahi. Yes. So my naming was getting sloppy there. But anyway, to print out 2-character country code from the retrieved data. So I just checked the XML version. So this is a program which searches for like country, like you enter the name Prague, and gives you the coordinates, location, and everything. There was a confusion here, and with the book, I think there will be some updates regarding this, because like it's very recent. In January, they just stopped using the Google API. And in the Kindle, I have the book on the Kindle as well, and even it has the Twitter. So it's like kind of for chapter 14, no, said 13. So for web services, it's kind of an unfortunate time because Google API started, I guess, costing money, and they just, didn't see it feasible to use it. And the shit show which is at Twitter now, like the whole part of Twitter, which was supposed to be a really, really good example, right? So that's from the online version, it's gone. And I did look at it in the book, like in the Kindle version. But like, if you don't have all the tools, how you even gonna apply them? So there was a confusion. Okay, we don't have Google API. We have this GeoApify API, and the code is a little bit different. But at the end of the day, the solution, just look for the country code. We had to change. And I remember I was really thinking hard at this, like if not, like really I was trying like with my tiny little brain. But yeah, so the syntax, I knew the solution. I had it in my head, like we had to make like a condition, like I would say guardian pattern a bit, that if the country doesn't exist, because there are some locations where the country doesn't exist, country code. So instead of like failing, what will happen? So you had to do this. Country code does not exist. So, and after a while, I just like, okay, I'm gonna ask my buddy ChatGPT about the actual syntax. And yeah, this is not something I would like know from my head. And I don't know if the book would actually give you indication, but yeah, we read the location, we read the service URL. These are, ignore SSL certificate bullshit. Input, it starts. So we create the true, while true, it can be read. So the whole thing runs, right? We initiate our little loop here. We enter the location, the address, and we make sure that the address is gonna be. So this is also, I guess, can be considered as a guardian thingy. Okay, we strip it for, I have absolutely no reason why. And then parms equals dict, which means dictionary. So I guess we create parms is going to be a dictionary. And Q, I have no idea why there's a Q here. Parms Q equals address. I have absolutely no idea why there's a Q here. Anyway, so we're gonna add the URL. URL is gonna be the service URL, which we added here. Then we're gonna add, like, I guess, method. Sorry, function. Sorry, it's a function. So we're gonna add the parse. So we imported the module URL lib.parse. So the whole module, we call it here. And then we add URL, the function URL encode, and we're gonna add our little dictionary inside. Then we're gonna come, okay, we are retrieving whatever we get from the URL. Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of stuff is happening here. Yeah, I mean, this was provided, right? So I really cannot say this is my code. This is good for as an example that using these will get you to read JSON. I guess JSON. Yes, JSON. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah, absolutely JSON. We're gonna actually like call the JSON, the module here. Phew. We didn't even start yet. Anyway, so we did lead it. So JSON becomes all of the data which we just read. And we can call this is our JSON, little JSON file. And yeah, how does the JSON file look? So that was very interesting, right? Because like it does really make sense. So when you open it, I wish I could really pull up an example. I mean, I could pull up an example. I should be. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, oh, I'm starting to think about, I guess this is it. Because there was a, if you want to see the XML version or something. Okay, let's not go that far. But anyway, so see, this is how it looks like. So it's kind of really very well organized and everything. So, and then we're gonna create these conditions like if not in features, if not JSON, or features not, then make an error. If equals 0. So I remember there was like a reason for this. That yeah, this is also something Guardian, that if the features doesn't exist, then we have an error message. Because if we don't put this here, then the program can run, you know, then we're gonna have a trace back. So if features is not in JSON and JSON features 0. Yes, okay, I remember about this. First feature equals JSON. So here we are using indexing. We're gonna ask for the features, and this is the 0, so it starts here. And basically we now looking, this is like the parent, and we're looking inside what is under features. And then we looking for the country code, and we're gonna print out the country code. Let's see if it will exist or if it's working. Yeah, it really moves like some special parts. Okay, I have no idea why is it not working. Timed out. Open Gehi, come on. Yeah, we have these unfortunate things. Yeah, definitely once this is done, like the book is over, everything, we did this week by week, then we're gonna have to start like I'm gonna start a new stream, and we're gonna go back to the beginning, I think, and we're gonna go through everything again. I definitely need repetition, and it's not working. So that's great. Our code is not working, I can't tell you. Is this something I can troubleshoot? Timed out, waiting for launcher. Are you kidding me? Open the launch.json and add the following configuration. I know what's the issue. I know what's the issue. The problem is I already have maybe a command line here. I mean, that's wishful thinking that this is gonna solve the issue, but I don't want to open Teams, thank you. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the craziest thing can cause issue, right? Open Gehi. Okay, that's a nice start. Does anything else works? So maybe this one. Yeah, everything is messed up here now. Okay, what about simple codes? Yeah, you don't see it actually, but maybe I can put it here. So this is what I get. All right, very nice start, very nice start. It's been 30 minutes. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to do some unscripted, examples or everything, but yeah, maybe I have to restart, maybe I have to do whatever, but I would break the stream. So yeah, cool. Not gonna do code example, like at least seeing how it works. Note, maybe next time you can actually make sure that the code is working. But yeah, what would be the success for today's stream is to go through the object-oriented programming. Yeah, write it down in your own words that you actually understand, make a summary, and that's it. We will call it a day. Yeah, these are the things which really test your, like, very fucked up. Let's write it down. Sequential code. So this is a very nice way of making it my own, because I do actually get some personal experience from last year. We had the Norminet at 42, right? And the Norminet was basically checking if, you know, if your code is really structured in a nice way. So it made sense. Like, I know what do you mean by this. Exactly, but that's pretty much it. So we need to create code, which, moving on. Like many aspects of programming, it is necessary to learn the concepts of object-oriented programming before you can use them effectively. You should approach this chapter as a way to learn some terms and concepts and work through a few simple examples to lay a foundation for future learning. The key outcome of this chapter is to have a basic understanding of how objects are constructed and how they function, and most importantly, how we make use of the capabilities of objects that are provided to us by Python and Python libraries. We will learn the concept, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all clear. So here I think I started to... Okay, as it turns out, we have been using objects all along in this book. Python provides us with many built-in objects. Here is some simple code where the first few lines should feel very simple and natural to you. We create a list. We append, yeah, this is something which was very helpful for me. So we append, we add the Python, we add the chunk, and we're gonna sort it by alphabetically. Then we're gonna get, so this is 3 different ways of getting the same, I guess. Instead of focusing on what these lines accomplish, let's look at what is really happening from the point of view of object-oriented programming. Don't worry if the following paragraphs don't make any sense the first time you read them, because we have not yet defined all of these terms. The first line constructs an object of type list. Then the second and third lines call the append method. The fourth line calls the sort method, and the fifth line retrieves the item at position 0. The sixth line calls the get item method in the stuff list with a parameter of 0. The seventh line is even more verbose way of retrieving the 0th item in the list. In this code, we call the getItem method in the list class and pass the list and the item we want retrieved list as parameters. Oh my god, I always forget. Can we remember once and for all? Control-Shift-N does nothing, or just pisses me off. Okay, so always remember, make your changes. This is OneNote reminder. You make what you want, like you do these little embellishments or whatever you want to call them, and then you're gonna you're gonna color them or make them nice. Oh my god, the cat is done. So this is constructs on object. Control-Shift-N is going to normal, like going to default text. Control-Shift-N, remember, okay? Control-Shift-N. If nothing else comes from this stream, is that once and for all, Control-Shift-N is gonna be the default. The second and third line call the append methods. third line and fourth line calls the sort method, and fifth line retrieves the position, retrieves the item at position 0. The sixth line calls the get item method in the stuff list with a parameter of 0. The sixth line calls the get item method in the stuff list. It's very hard, guys. It's very hard, guys. Like, really, I physically feel like every single time we stream, it's like, you know, I'm motivated, and yeah, there are very nice, good moments. But yeah, this is the one of the few times I did actually, feels like somebody's watching. Anyway, so this is the first time I'm actually, yeah, after work. We knew this for a long time, right? We felt this, that okay, you have 1 hour a day, which is like good. 1 hour a day fixed, and then the weekends. But, you know, if you want to get results, this is something you're gonna have to do even after work, obviously. You have to swallow this blue pill, not the coin. And yeah. And now I really felt today was like, I finished work, I finished therapy, and I went down with my cat, had a walk, and I really imagined that, you know, this is something I can actually do, and I should be doing. And yes, let's start slow, really. Let's start like, okay, 1 hour stream after work, definitely possible, definitely doable, and it's gonna be a pain. It is a pain. I feel the, but it's as you get used to it. This is brain training your brain. This is why even the network stuff, it was not for, you know, nothing, not for vain, because everything we do here is contributes to getting these muscles up to speed. So yeah, the get item method looks like absolute shit. Like, why does it has 2 squares? What is this? Underscores. Underscore get item. What kind of a bullshit is this? See, this is like something we are creating little blocks which will help you remember that actually methods multiple. We are aware about the get item method, and also that we have these little like underscore, and it can look like shit. Anyway, calls the get item method in the stuff list with the parameter of 0. Okay, the parameter. Do you remember about parameters? I think the function had a parameter. What does this mean actually, that we with the parameter of 0? You didn't even see that I'm actually writing stuff here. Anyway. I'm gonna get out ChatGPT. I can't take this shit. The parameter 0 signifies that you want to retrieve the item at the first position of the stuff. Excuse me. Okay, you guys don't see, but I did put some additional look. Oh, yeah. See? Here we go. Okay, continue please. The seventh line is even a more verbose way of retrieving the 0 from the list. In this code, we call the getItem method in the list class and pass the list. Oh my god. Aha, yes, okay. So we do get the difference, right? So this is a cute little list, right? This is like already created little list. We call the method on it and we add like 3 different ways, obviously, to do the same thing. And here it means that we can call it on the class. So which means we can even, I don't know, but yeah, so we add the class, calls the method, and pass the list and the parameters. The last 3 lines of the programs are equivalent, but it is more convenient to simply use the square bracket syntax to look up an item at a particular position in a list. We can take a look at the capabilities of an object by looking at the output of the dir function. Yeah, we know this. It's already there, right? We already made a note of this. Okay. It's getting hot. Okay, bio break. We're gonna continue. So I need a scene which is about break. pam pam. This is so silly. Okay, we are back. Let's continue. Everything is set up again. Okay. Starting with programs. A program in its most basic form takes some input, does some processing, and produces some output. Produces some output. Yeah, guys, this is absolutely crazy. So, did you guys know that the iPhone timer, if you keep the window open, if you keep, this is very not relevant to any of this, but it's just such a I hope there's a setting for it, and I'm just complaining for no reason. But like, if you open the timer and you keep the page open, because why not? Like, maybe you wanna do like practice guitar or something, and you just put it down, and the window is open, like the page is open where you see the timer, and it goes down. If it goes down, it's not gonna buzz, it's not gonna ring. So you have to like hide it, minimize it, and then it's gonna ring. Definitely some settings, because I was like, there's no way. But it's just such a stupid design. Anyway, a program in its most basic form takes some input, does some processing, and produces some output. Our elevator conversion program demonstrates a very short but complete program showing all three of these steps. USF. Yeah, and I did try to write it in my own words. Anyway, if we think a bit more about this program, there is the outside world and the program. The input and the output aspects are where the program interacts with the outside world. Within the program, we have code and data to accomplish the task the program is designed to solve. One way to think about object-oriented programming is that it separates our program into multiple zones. Each zone contains some code and data, like a program, and has well-defined interactions with the outside world and the other zones within the program. If we look back at the link extraction application, where we use the Beautiful Soup library, we can see a program that is constructed by connecting different objects together to accomplish a task. So how does it work? Okay, blah 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 blah. We read the URL, yes, okay. Yeah, this was retrieve all of the anchor tags. We read the URL into a string and then pass that URL lib to retrieve the data from the web. The URL lib library uses the socket library to make the actual network connection to retrieve the data. We take the string that URL lib returns and hand it to Beautiful Soup for parsing. Beautiful Soup makes use of the object html.parser and returns an object. Returns an object, right? So right, so this soup becomes an object. Very, very sad. Very disappointing that VS Code is not working. Super disappointing. Like, come on. Cool. right? This is exactly the same thing. It's exactly almost the same thing. Is it still not working? Yeah, not working. VS Code is not working today. Anyway, what I wanted to check, variable soup, right? So we cannot even go into debug mode, nothing. Man, you were so prepared. Nothing works, nothing works. We need a proper reinstall or like restart. Okay, we're not gonna get stopped here. Back to where I wanted to go. Yeah, fuck you. We call the tags method on the returned object that returns a directory of tag objects. We loop through the tags and call the get method for each tag to print out the href attribute. We can draw a picture of this program and how the objects work together. The key here is not to understand perfectly how this program works, but to see how we build a network of interacting objects and orchestrate the movement of information between the objects to create a program. It is also important to note that when you looked at the program several chapters back, you could fully understand what was going on in the program without even realizing that the program was orchestrating the movement of data between objects. It was just lines of code that got the job done. Okay, this is, and I didn't take notes here. Very nice. One of the advantages of the object-oriented approach is that it can hide complexity. For example, while we need to know how to use the URL lib and beautiful soup code, we do not need to know how those libraries work internally. This allows us to focus on the part of the problem we need to solve and ignore the other parts of the problem. Actually, I do want to return, because here we can actually again do these little lines, these little cute lines. This is the part here. This is the part here. Yeah, I'm just gonna add little lines, just like I did before. The URL lib library uses the socket library to make the actual connection. So we imported URL lib. URL open. url.request.urlopen zárójel url context equals ctx. This function url open is used to open a URL. It takes at least one argument, which is the URL of the web page you want to open. Optionally, it can take a context parameter, which is used to specify the SSL context for HTTPS requests. The context parameter here can be used to configure things like the SSL certificates and other security related settings. Here, the CTX is assumed to be a predefined SSL context. Excuse me. So do you see? Okay, so here the book doesn't explain this because it does means you don't have to actually know. But this line actually makes perfect sense because context. It takes the URL, which we already have, right? And then the dot read is called the object written by. This method is called on the object written by URL open. It reads the content of the web page and returns it as a bytes objects. In my head. Is beautiful soup is a module? I guess that's it. At a basic level, an object is simply some code plus data structures that are smaller than a whole program. Defining a function allows us to store a bit of code and give it a name and then later invoke that code using the name of the function. An object can contain a number of functions, which we call methods, as well as data that is used by those functions. We call, okay, so basically beautiful soup is an object. You son of a bitch. Or whatever. I'm so confused. I guess, okay, so beautiful soup is a module, which when you call it, like it has to be, right? Let's see. No, it's not. Okay, it's not a module. According to VS Code, it's not a module. BS4 is a module, but beautiful soup is a class. It's a library, bro. It's a library. So it's a library which is gonna return you an object. An object can contain a number of functions as well as data that is used by those functions. We call the data items that are part of the object attributes. We use the class keyword to define the data and code that will make up each of the objects. The class keyword includes the name of the class and begins an indented block of code where we include the attributes and the methods. So attributes are the data and methods are the code. So we are having a party with the party animal. Class is the party animal. And here, again, we have this strange method with the little blah, 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 blah. And the reason why we are using it, if we remember, is that if you use these type of weird methods, you can add it to a class, I guess. Yeah. Cute party animals. I should be watching. Ooh, maybe I will watch the second episode of Fallout after this. Ooh, definitely. I could. It would be so much better than pressing and watching random content. That would be really, really. Yeah, this is also very nice realization or idea which I have. And that, of course, you do something productive or you do something which we are doing right now. And eventually you're gonna get to a point where you just like done. I can't continue. I can't. I'm just overwhelmed. I don't wanna. I wanna do something else. And then what you do? You pick up your phone and you're lost. You basically already lost the game. But it doesn't have to be this way. Like you can really, the relaxation can be about just watching into the floor. Like just really like, or just close your eyes. We really, really have to be conscious about this. Really, really. I cannot stress enough how like conscious using of devices, because it's not our fault, not entirely our fault, right? Like it's not entirely our fault. It's because we are just like everything is made in such a way is that you don't even realize, but you are being manipulated into like hey, click on me, click on me, click on me, and then you lost. And I know how it is. I know absolutely. So yeah, it would be so nice to become free of all this. It's super annoying stress ball, because it should be a ball. It should be round, which you can hold in your hand like this, but no, it has these sharp edges. So the stress ball, which is supposed to calm you down, is actually even making you pissed. And anyway, we are skipping over lines. I know what you're doing. Basic level object is simply some code plus data structures. Okay, so we're gonna make it object equals some code and data structures. Some code and data structures. This is it. I'm not gonna overcomplicate. Defining a function allows us to store a bit of code and give it a name later, so that all methods are functions, but not all methods are not all functions are methods. All methods are functions, but not all functions are methods. Is this true? All methods are functions. A method is a function that is usually associated with a class or object, so it would be true to say that all methods are functions, but not all functions are methods, since you can create a function outside of a class or object that will be not associated with either. I'm gonna thank you so much. Thank you so much. What was your name? Sorry, I'm just taking your information. Thank you, Jonathan Fernandez. Thank you that you posted this on the 10th of October in 2021. Oh my god, there's the cat. Oh my god, there's the cat. Acapla. Acapla. Aren't you the adventure guy? You are the adventure guy today. You were eating so many grass. So much grass. You wanna go out? I will write this down. This is not relevant to this particular line, I think, at all. The class keyword includes the name of the class and begins the indented block. We use the class keyword, which is this guy, to define everything which is gonna happen. Each method looks like a function starting with the def keyword and consisting of an indented block of code. The first method is specifically named method called init. This method is called to do any initial setup of data of the data we want to store in the object. In this class, we allocate the x attribute using dot notation and initialize it to 0. So each method looks like a function, which is very unfortunate, right? Because it's a parameter, it's a parameter, it's a method, it's a method. Yeah, okay, so I know what you mean. Init. So init is the method and self. Init is the method. Part is the method now. Self.x. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, let's start from here. We declare that we're gonna do a class. So we are use the keyword. We do a class, and I can make any class. I'm gonna make a party animal class. Boom, indented, it begins. Now I'm gonna define, but I'm not gonna define a function as you expect. I define the init. I define a method. Self. And yeah, why does this look like a function? I'm gonna have to pin this. Can you stay here? I think I'm not streaming now what I'm doing. Yeah. I don't care now. I'm gonna have to. Okay, pin this guy, pin it. This is very nice because once and for all, we could clear it in our head about the difference between function and a method, because they should look very similarly. No, I mean, yes, exactly. I have the example. So when you define or call function, yes. So function, and then brackets and whatever you want to add. By that function, right? But a method, when a method is called, it's a dot. So there's a variable and dot. So and also you cannot use methods on everything, I guess. But you can use functions probably. Okay, I don't want to go that deep. Okay. But so yes, that's the difference. That's why it looks like I define a method which looks like a function. Each method looks like a function starting with a def key and consisting of an indented block of code. The first method is simply named method called init. This method is called to do any initial setup of the data we want to store in the object. In this class, we allocate the x attribute using dot notation and initialize it to 0. Dot notation. Notation and dot notation. Remember. Okay. This method is called, I define a method which looks like a function. No. So it's actually, each method looks like darting with a def keyword and consisting an indented block. I define a method which looks like a and I don't actually create, right? The init is an actual thing. I don't actually invent the method itself. It is called to do any initial setup of the data we want to store in the object. In this class, we allocate X attribute using dot notation and initialize it to 0. Okay, so what is the self then? What is the self? I just created the self. What is that? It's a parameter. The self is a parameter. Self at party animal. Is a parameter. We use dot notation. Initial setup. So now we're gonna call, we allocate X attribute using the dot notation, initialize it to 0. Very crazy. Like this is absolutely nuts, because like why would this be like this anyway? So self.x, and it's equals to, and it's gonna be an attribute now, and the way we use it is very similar as to calling a method. Okay, then we create the other method name. Wait. Okay. So in this case, the other method named party. The methods all have a special first parameter that we name by convention self. The first parameter gives us access to the object instance, so we can set attributes and call methods using, oh my god. The first method is a specially named method called init. This method is called to do an initial, yes. The other method named party. The methods all have, okay, so I need to understand if init already exists or if we just made up that word. Oh my god, no, I didn't mean to. Stop, bad bot. Okay, thank you. Why would you even... Yeah, we're gonna have to draw. We're gonna have to actually agree on something though, because I did many like when I went down to walk the little cat, I did actually think that okay, 1 hour stream and everything. Like we have to be mindful about our brain and everything, and also it's a big lesson from the networking that I remembered. Yeah, it was 7 hours of streaming, and in the end we had the OSI, right? The OSI, and I was like, and I know it's on stream. I didn't watch it back, but it's on stream. I'm just scrolling down. I just want to get it done. I want to get it over with because I promised I will finish it. But what it doesn't do anything good. Like we can do a whole stream on just one page. There's nobody. No, we shouldn't. Like there is no actual time pressure here, and it should make much more sense. Yes, to sit, on one page and continue. Yeah, it's a 1 hour and 40 minute stream. Like the first 30 minutes was though like a bit of waste of time. We are calling it. End of stream summary. End of stream summary. Boom. I'm gonna even make like a... Can I add my little... I'm gonna add the whole window. Boom. Yes, exactly. No, it's not gonna work. Display capture. Boom. Not this one. Boom. Yes, you can see my name. Perfect. You son of a fucking... Okay. Abort the mission. Abort the mission. What did we get from this? Because there were some very key things, and now I cannot think. I can think basically like blank space. Like we went through 4 basic programming features so far. Sequential, and then conditional, I guess, if statements. Sequential, conditional, I couldn't remember. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah, I guess lists or I don't know, tuples. because it like basic data structure, like variables and like using, I guess there were some, and also dictionaries and lists. Okay, no, I'm gonna go back here later on. It can be even anything, like anything you take away from the stream, right? So we experimented with the scenes feature, like finally, of the OBS, and it can be used cleverly to make the stream more dynamic. Absolutely. We should definitely test VS Code before starting a stream to avoid I cannot write technical. Oh, you. Yes, beautiful Sue, beautiful Sue is a library, right? Which returns objects when used. And we even had like an example. We went through some examples. How the how the URL lib module uses the socket library to read the page, and also how you can add additional yeah, we were looking for the tags. I think before that, what did we do? We actually went through we created a list. Added Chuck and something else, like added 2 strings to it, and we experimented with the different ways of calling the same result. The most sophisticated way was to use a special method which looks weird. It was something, yeah. We're not gonna remember about this, but we definitely memorized that we do have methods with underscore, and I think, and it should indicate that it can be used directly with a class. So like class dot, I think so, maybe, it's suspicious, but method. And then you add the list itself and the index. Definitely not like this syntax. But yeah, we are aware about these things. Okay, it's 9:22. Oh yeah, sequential code, conditional code, repetitive code. Why don't we just call it loops? Iteration, iteration, and store and reuse, which was very little functions. Store and reuse, and then and also tuples and list. Also dictionaries, lists, and tuples, which are data structures. All right. Cool. Okay, so where did I give up? Because I did give up a bit now, right? But, right, what can you do? The init is a special method that is automatically called when a new instance of class is created. It's not something we invent. It's part of the Python object-oriented features. I define a method which looks like fun. I don't actually invent the method, right? So it's super true, super true. I don't actually invent it. But the party is actually invented. Okay. Definitely. Yeah, this is very, like, this is cool. This is very cool. This is definitely multiple chapters. So, and also, what did we learn? What did we learn again regarding stream? Don't set expectation at the end of at the start of the stream. As even this is actually coming back from therapy just a couple of hours ago. Don't set expectations at the start of the stream. Tame your expectations. Have an idea about the general topic to cover, but do not set deadline. Go with the flow, I guess. go with the flow. Because if you set, right, this is all about mind control as well, that if you think you wanna have to finish the whole thing, it's gonna start causing you miserable, and then you're gonna speedrun and everything. So go with the flow and do not set an angle and take your time. I shouldn't. Okay, I don't know why I put this. So that's it for today. I finish tomorrow at 6. I'm not gonna promise. I'm not gonna overpromise, but I'm gonna actually continue during lunch as usual. And so this Thursday, I'm gonna finish again very early. So I could do a home office and oops, sorry. And then I can, from 5 I can do it. That's actually possible. So let's do realistic. So we are not setting expectations, but we are trying to make it happen during the week as well, and use the, yes. And on the weekend, we're gonna do on Saturday mega stream.